Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 3. So, like I promised last week, I had hoped to start shooting these videos on Sunday afternoon. So it is Sunday afternoon. I have looked at some of the discussion posts that have already been made, and it appears that everybody seems to be moving on down the road and understanding how to get that part done. So this week we're going to launch into a few quick reminders. Housekeeping. Okay, so on the syllabus, it says that we will be having a Zoom meeting on Thursday. We actually aren't going to be having that meeting. Tara and I will be presenting in more public schools. That's with the cohort that we'll be starting next year. So we will not be having a Zoom meeting because that meeting is supposed to start at 4 o'clock. Sorry, that meeting is supposed to start at 5 o'clock. And since we supposed to start at 4:30, I was just like, there's no way. A lot of times I can multitask, but we'll be off site, so we're just gonna say no, that's not gonna happen, and you'll just do everything that you did last week this week as far as like reading the materials and whatnot. So one quick reminder, don't forget that you need to be working on your observation reference interviews. Remember that you guys are just observing. You do need to find a school librarian to talk to, and in that sense you're kind of involved in an interview situation, but in most of the time, and all I want you to do is to observe. In the digital one, obviously, like I said last week, you're going to be asking questions and you'll be involved in it in that level too. But with the public library, you really just need to do some observing. I'm not expecting you to actually go in and participate in anything as far as the public library goes. So that's it for bookkeeping. Okay, so last week we talked about the patron's right to read and to find information that they desire, even if it's not necessarily something that we find interesting. Like I said last week, you can only have, in elementary world, you can only have so many dinosaur books or bug books or car books or whatever seems to be popular at your school. If nothing else, just because of space on yourself. Yeah, it's going to be one of those days. Some have, even when I had a bigger library, there was still also only money always becomes a factor. And the other thing is there's only so many of any one particular topic out there. Something that's really popular, like in the elementary world, like dinosaur books, yeah, there's a lot of them out there. But after a while, you have them all. You may even have multiple copies of them all. But so, there comes a point where you just kind of, you can only do so much, I guess is what I'm saying here. So, but still, that may be a topic that you don't honestly care about, but you need to have them because those are things that your students are interested in. And honestly, that's one of the ways that you can use to kind of, a lot of times, especially in nonfiction land, kind of use it to kind of hook them into reading. So this week, we're going to be moving on to another cornerstone of school libraries, which is information literacy. And you're going to hear us talk about information literacy quite a bit. ALA defines information literacy as a set of abilities requiring individuals to recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate, and effectively use effectively, the need of that information. So a lot of times students will know they have a problem or a question, but they have not clue one as to how to go in and try to figure out how to resolve that. A lot of them will tell you, hey, I can Google. Yes, you can Google, and there is some worthwhile information out on Google, but it's our jobs as school librarians to kind of help guide them through that process. A lot of times, especially in the younger years, they will go say, hey, I can Google an answer. Well, okay, let them Google. They're going to come up with a million hits, depending on what the topic is, and not know which one of those is, going to provide them with the most relevant and most helpful information. So a lot of times you can tell them, if you go look at one book and actually kind of just looking at you, teach them how to use a table of contents or an index, they could have their answer faster using a book, a nonfiction book, or something in the reference section than they could if they went and Googled it. So I've actually done, like, for those students who didn't believe me, we actually we timed it out a couple of different years, because I had some students who were just flat out wanted to use Google for everything. So you can truly find information if you know how to. They've been taught the skills that they can find information faster in a book than they can online. They will not believe you. They will fight you over it. But it's something that, like I said, if you don't want to do it like a time trial, like have one group go look it up in a book and one group go look it up online and see which group gets done faster. My experience, the group that used the books got the information faster. So just something you might want to think about. But the goal of information literacy is to, like I said, know that they have a problem, that what resources to use to try to find an answer to that problem. And because a lot of times, whether they Google or however they go about finding their answer, they need to know that they can trust that information. So that's part of what we teach them when we're going to talk about Big Six in this class. You'll hear a lot about Big Six. For those of you who are like, oh no, no more Big Six, can tell you that you hit it in almost just about every class. So Big Six will become your friend. As some of you are probably rolling your eyes at that one, but anyway. So that's why we teach Big Six. So you can kind of teach them a process to go through and kind of help them become information literate. So they know the sources, they know which sources they need, they know which ones they can trust, and it just kind of helps them be a more productive citizen beyond school. Whether I come out, sometimes I would get blowback from some students who tell me, I'm not going to college. That is just not going to be a part of my life. And even in the elementary world, they knew that going to college just wasn't going to be a part of their life. So, but you still need to know what if you have a question, how are you going to get it answered? Who are you going to go to trust to get it answered? Google, yes, can be your friend, but you need to know what to trust on Google. So that's part of honestly, that was probably became one of my more favorite jobs, coming from a first grade classroom. We didn't actually work a lot, obviously, on information skills because we were trying to teach them just how to read. So, but moving into the library and learning how to teach research skills, there were a lot of options when I started in the library in 2004. Big Six was kind of the one that has come out on top. It has become kind of like the gold standard in a lot of people's minds. There will be a question on the OSAT when you get around to taking it in library media that is a constructed response. You will need to know the Big Six and all of the two substandards that are within each of the 6 steps. For those who have known how to do that, they have gotten through that question without any problems. So the first year Tara and I taught 2016, 2017, the group that graduated in 2017, we didn't hit Big Six, honestly did not hit Big Six as hard as we should have, and some of them quite honestly struggled with that constructed response. So that's where, as teachers, you reflect and go, oh goodness, okay, what did we not do? How did we not meet their needs? As much as I'm not a fan of teaching the test, I do believe in giving you the skill set that you need to be successful, whether it be in the library or even conquering the OSAT. So just something to think about as you start to learn. So we talk more about the Big Six is something that you need to focus on and kind of make sure you just kind of keep it in your skill set. So, because like I said, you'll see it many, many times while you're working through your way through this program. So that is all I have to share for this week. So just a quick reminder that we will not be Zooming this week. I also forgot to mention in housekeeping that there will be times, well, every week, not just times, that when I'm shooting these videos from this point forward, that we will be dropping what I call Easter eggs. Easter eggs have come about because there are times Tara and I will take time to shoot these videos every week. We'll go over something, whether it be in housekeeping or it'll be about something about the assignment for that week, and students email us with questions. Now I understand if we present something and you go, I don't understand. I understand what you said, but I don't understand how it applies to whatever your question is. Okay, I get that. That's different. But we have people who don't watch these videos who are asking us questions that it's basic information that was covered in the video. So with that said, from this week forward, personally, I'm going to be putting what is known as Easter eggs in each of the videos. So you will need to watch the video all the way through. Sometimes, obviously, I'm going to be putting this Easter egg at the end since I'm just now talking about it. Sometimes the Easter eggs will be up front. Sometimes there'll be Easter eggs at the front, in the middle, and at the end. Sometimes there'll be just an Easter egg in the middle. But you won't know week to week. And that's kind of the joy of it all. So, but that way, hopefully, it will kind of help everyone make sure that they watch all of the video. And that way, hopefully, we'll kind of slow down on some of those questions that you have. We've provided you with the answers, but for some reason, some students have chosen not to watch the videos. So with that in mind, this week, I'm going to need you to, when you do your discussion post, at the very end of your original content, I need you to please tell me that you understand what an Easter egg is. So you're going to create your content, your roughly 100 words. Then you're going to say in a separate paragraph down towards the bottom, I understand what Easter eggs are. That sentence exactly. I understand what Easter eggs are. One more time. I understand what Easter eggs are. That's going to be your last sentence. So please make sure that you include it. That way I'll know that you have seen this week's video. I will promise you that it will not be something that simple in the weeks to come, but since this is the first week that we're going to kind of give this a rollout, we're going to make it fairly simple for you. So I look forward to seeing everybody's answers in the discussion post. If you need me, please feel free to email me. Have a great week.